If we're going to emulate a massive and exciting international sporting tournament, it doesn't really make sense for us to represent different continents. So we're going to associate our two teams with geographical features of South Devon. All the SDDL teams nearest the River Plym will represent the Plym Panthers, and all the teams closest to the River will represent the Eagles in the very first Ryder Cup of Darts, held over 2 days on the Spring Bank holiday weekend, Saturday the 23rd and Sunday the 24th of May. Here's how it's going to work. The two teams will be represented by groups made up of 4 to 6 players, or golfers, of their respective SDDL teams. Each one will include a captain, which doesn't have to be the named SDDL team captain. There are 19 SDDL teams this year, so Plym Panthers will be invited to make up a 10th group to balance things out as the captains and vice captains see fit. Speaking of captains and vice captains, Friday 1st of May, 3 weeks before the tournament begins, the RCOD committee will announce the team captains. Now, as we don't yet have an RCOD committee, which just consists of myself, effectively, I've already elected the Eagles captain. As you can imagine, it's myself, and I have also elected the Plym Panthers captain. I'm very pleased to announce that Dan Giles has agreed to head up that team. Friday the 8th of May, 2 weeks before we get started, myself and Dan will announce our vice captains. Our vice captains will assist us in deciding the order of play and deciding the course. More on that in a moment. There'll also be a call for everybody to decide who's going to play from their teams and who's going to be their elected captains. Friday the 15th of May, 1 week before we get started, the course will be announced. Now, for example, this isn't the finalised course, but for example, we might see something along these lines. Starting holes 1 and 2 on the Ivoridge Con Club front bar, moving over to the second bar in the second board in the front bar at Ivoridge Con Club for holes 3 and 4, and then a short walk down the road to the exchange for holes 5 and 6, holes 7 and 8 at the Old Smithy, and another short walk down the road further to the Duke of Cornwall for holes 9 and 10, and then a quick hop under the A38 to Ivoridge Town FC. And then perhaps we can maybe arrange for a bus to hop over to the cricket club. I'd like to use all the venues on the SDDL itinerary, if you like, if we can. That bus would then take us back for holes 15 and 16 at the Con Club, back bar perhaps, before the last 2 holes 17 and 18 back on the front bar. Like I say, that's just an example of what might happen. So, 1 day before the tournament begins, the group golfers are announced. All the groups and captains, as well as the order of the play for the Saturday morning 4 balls. Now, before we get into the actual tournament itself, I'll say a little bit about how we actually play golf on a dartboard. It's not how you've probably done it before. Very simply, each hole is 1 leg of 501. Simple as that. Each shot is 1 visit to the board. So let's say a 22 dart leg would be 8 visits, so 8 shots. A putt is a checkout. Nothing special about that. If you've got a score that you can check out, then you're deemed to be on the green. I would like to do a prize for the longest putt at the end of the tournament, but we'll come back to that later. 180 scored at any time, including if you're on a putt of say 50 or something, obviously a 180 would normally bust, but in this case you hit a 180, you hole your ball. Obviously if you do that on your first shot, that would be deemed to be a hole-in-one. Again, I'd like to do a prize for this if there is one. More on that later. So getting on to the tournament itself, I've flipped the 2 flights around there to represent the fact that the Eagles are at home for the first Ryder Cup of Darts tournament. And so day 1, Saturday morning. I'm thinking probably about 11 to 11:30. Maybe we can organise some bacon rolls at Ivorbridge Con Club. But everyone will be issued with their electronic scorecards. We'll be saying a little bit more about those in a minute. And the first 4-ball pairing will be prepared to take the tee. Here's how that's going to work. So, match 1, hole 1, Ivorbridge Con Club front bar, as we said. Mike Jenkins and Josh Bullock of Ivorbridge Cricket Club A and Ivorbridge Cricket Club B are facing Dan Giles of Plimpton Con B and Nick Furno of Plimpton Con C. So Mike steps up to the board. There's a lot of barracking, as there is in a Ryder Cup, a lot of fun, and he hits a 26. But no matter, because Josh follows him up and hits an 81. This doesn't work like a normal pairs. So as in the 4 balls in the golf, you each have a ball and you choose your best lie. The best lie in this case is the 81 shot by Josh, so that's what they score, and that's 1 shot by them. Then Dan's up to the board next. He hits a ton, and Nick hits 81, so their best lie is Dan's shot, which is the ton, so that's what they score, and that's their first shot played. A little later on in the hole, let's say this is shot 7 for example, and both teams are on the green. Eagles looking at a putt of 40 here, and let's say Taff hits a single 20, a single 10 and a single 5 with a 35, which would leave them 5, yet Josh's lie leaves them 20, or would leave them 20, so they discuss between themselves which they like in this case, because they're on the green. They don't necessarily have to take the longer shot, they can take the more favourable one, so in this case they decide to take the 20, leaving them 20 if they get another go. Panthers step up. Dan hits a 48 in trying to take out the 64, and Nick, remembering that you can hit a 180 to hold the shot at any point, decides he fancies that, hits one, and obviously holes the ball and wins the hole for the Panthers. They go 1 up. So then they move on to the next hole. Everybody makes their way around the course and all eventually end up back at Ivorbridge Con Club, where the captains and their vice captains will convene and decide the order of play for the Saturday afternoon foursomes. Now the foursomes work a little bit more simply. They work a bit more like a normal game of pairs. So here we are. We're a little bit further into the afternoon here. This is match 8, hole 15. We have Matt Blackler and Nathan Clay playing for the Eagles, and Harrison Lacey and Dave Kenneth playing for the Panthers. We're on the 15th hole, and Matt steps up, hits a 41, and that's a shot already. The score's been clocked up there. Harrison up next. He hits a 41 also. That's a shot for him. So the second shot for the Eagles now is Nathan. He hits a ton. And the second shot for the Panthers, Dave hits 81. Later on in the hole, let's say the Eagles are on the green, they're looking at putt of 52, and the Panthers are just on the edge of the green there, not quite with a putt, well, 166. Let's say Matt pops up, doesn't quite get the double 16. Harrison has a great effort at taking a lump out of the 166 to leave Dave a 66 putt if he gets a go at it. And it appears that Nathan has holed their putt on the let's say their 8th shot, but they haven't won the hole because Dave hasn't taken his 8th shot yet. Let's say he does. He holes his 8th shot, and that would therefore tie the hole. In this case, there's only there would only be 3 holes left, and the Eagles are 4 up, so they would win that hole 4-3 in that instance. So they could either stay where they were, or they back at wherever they were on the course and watch the rest of the players come through, or they could make their way back to the club. Once everybody else has made their way back to the club, the vice captains and captains again convene to choose their order of play for the Sunday singles. Everybody has a bit of a drink and a bit of a jolly up, and reconvene at Iveridge Con Club Sunday afternoon, probably about 3 o'clock, I'm thinking, for the Sunday singles. Now, Sunday singles is probably pretty self-explanatory of what's going to happen there. It's going to work in the same way. So I'm going to draw your attention to the live scoreboard, which I mentioned earlier. Now, everybody will have an electronic scoreboard, electronic scorecard to take round with them. That will basically be an emailed invite to edit a Google Sheets document effectively. So as long as your phone can receive emails and use a web browser to edit a Google Sheet, we should all be good. I'm assuming everybody has that capability. So those electronic scorecards will link up to a live scoreboard which will be streamed on YouTube. So the idea is that this will be live in all the pubs that we go round to as we're playing our rounds of golf, and also people will be able to get it up on their phones as well, so they'll be able to see the score wherever they go. This scoreboard is going to work exactly like the genuine real Ryder Cup golf ball scoreboard that you see. So we can see here we're looking at the Sunday singles. Before we get started, we're assuming that this Saturday's play has resulted in a 5-all draw, so everything to play for on the Sunday singles. And here's something like what we might see. So each of the 10 singles games that will be played on the Sunday, the first tee time 3 o'clock there. If we skip on a little bit, we'll see how this could maybe pan out. So a couple of hours in, and they've nearly all started. A couple of them have been won already, and we look at the top, the projected score. So the 9-9 is if it suggests that would be the score if everything remained as it is. Well, as we know, it's not going to remain as it is. Things are going to go to and fro. It's going to get closer and closer, and I'm hoping that it goes right down to the wire and we end up with a very, very close match indeed. Now, in the event that it is a tie, you can see at the top there that it says that each team needs 10.5 to win. Now, this is because it's the first ever tournament. Normally it would be 10.5 to win or 10 to retain, but since there has been no previous winner to retain a cup, The first one will be done like this. Both teams will need 10.5 to win outright. So if we end up with a 10-all draw, what happens in that instance is we have a tie break. Now the vice captains will elect either themselves, the captains will elect either themselves or one of their vice captains to play the last 3 holes against each other in a tie break. That should result in a winner. If it doesn't, then they go back to the final hole again, and for sudden death, as many times as it takes to get a winner. As is customary with the real Ryder Cup, following that there will be a series of captain speeches and a prize giving ceremony. Now we're going to be limited to what we can do about the prize giving ceremony. We've only got 8 or 9 weeks left, although the tournament, I'm pretty sure, can be organised and can be run. Whether we raise any money for charity or not is another thing, and what we can do about getting prizes together, etc., etc., is all up for discussion. So let's have your comments. I'm not looking for any tweaks to the format, any suggestions on how we could do things differently. As I said, I'm confident we can run this as it is, but we've only got 8 or 9 weeks to maybe get charity stuff together, fundraising, all that kind of stuff. We don't have a committee, so we'll need to get one of those together going forward. Maybe this will be just a trial run on this occasion, and we won't do any of the charity stuff, but it would be nice if we could get something together. All things to be discussed. So yeah, let's have your thoughts and your ideas.